and gentlemen, welcome back to Obsessive Compulsive Gaming. I am the Obsessive Compulsive Gamer, and this is my review for Resident Evil Requiem. So, dear viewers, if you don't mind, don't forget to subscribe to this channel and like this video. So, Resident Evil Requiem released just yesterday, and just like that beautiful bearded bastard Barry Burton, you're probably wondering,
what is this?
Resident Evil Requiem is the 9th main entry in the Resident Evil franchise. A franchise I happen to enjoy more than I do a good sandwich. And trust me, dear viewers, I love me a good sandwich. Especially if it's toasted. The story this time features a new protagonist, FBI analyst Grace Ashcroft, as she investigates the remains of Raccoon City with the help of the federal agent and returning protagonist, Leon S. Kennedy. The S stands for splendid. So let's quickly review this survival horror video game thingamajig so that I can get back to actually playing the game. And let's review it the only way I know how, badly. And let's start with what I absolutely love about Resident Evil Requiem. Spoilers, I love this game quite a bit. So this time around we get two different protagonists, and both play pretty differently. First of all, we have Grace, whose gameplay most resembles the horror gameplay of other Resident Evil games like Resident Evil 7, Biohazard, Resident Evil Village. Often you'll be trying to evade those pesky zombies and other colorful abominations as opposed to facing them in combat full on. Whereas Leon's portion of the game is the Leon S. Kennedy that we know and love from other games like Resident Evil 4, Resident Evil 6. And yes, I don't think this game is a sequel to Resident Evil 6 as opposed to really a sequel to Resident Evil Village. That means there's more action scenes than you would see in your average Arnold Arnold movie. And Resident Evil 6 did something very similar, letting us play as different characters, each who had their own specific kind of gameplay experience. And Requiem very much emulates that, and I absolutely loved it. One minute you'll be hiding from a creature as Grace, the next you'll be having a shootout on top of a motorcycle as Leon, then we'll shift back to Grace, who will be hiding in a toilet or some such nonsense, as a zombie mate who is somehow still clinging to memories of her past life is washing the bloody mirrors in the toilet. So be it the more horror elements of this game, be it the bombastic action sequences, be it the shootouts, be it the boss fights, I absolutely adore the gameplay in this. I also absolutely adore the amount of fan service that's in this game. And I'm not going to spoil any of it for you, but let's just say there was more than one occasion I found myself going, oh no way, it can't be. Oh, it is. Hoo-hoo! What? They brought them back? What? We're fighting them? Oh my God, Bertram, bring me a coffee and a buttered biscuit. That's amazing. That's phenomenal. Ooh, I didn't see that coming. Wait, that ending was a bit abrupt. Oh, that's just an alternate ending. This is the real ending. Ooh, splendid. What I'm trying to say, dear viewers, is that this game has a lot of surprises up its sleeve. Yes, you probably already know that we do return to the ruins of Raccoon City at some point in this game, and it's absolutely amazing. But some of the things that happen when we're exploring that ruins of Raccoon City is where this game really excels. particularly in some of the boss fights, which had me smiling more than that time I accidentally sat down on a revved chainsaw and realized that I quite liked it. Speaking of a revved chainsaw, one of the first weapons we get to wield in this game is a bloody chainsaw. In fact, as Leon, there's many points when an enemy will drop their weapon, and you can just pick the bloody thing up and throw it at another zombie. It's amazing. Speaking of the more fan services stuff, what I really love about this game is a return to a time when Resident Evil was about Umbrella, Raccoon City, Oswell Spencer, T-Virus, illegal experimentation on children. Well, not really that part. I mean, that does happen, but I'm not saying that I really enjoy that side of things. I mean, I enjoyed it a little, but it's not because I despise children, you understand. What I'm trying to... You know what? Let's just move on. I'm sure you get my point by now. What I'm trying to say is this is truly a real Resident Evil sequel, as opposed to something like Biohazard or Village, which went in their own unique, almost side story kind of direction. This very much is a sequel to Resident Evil 6. And if you happen to not like that game, well, tough. I love Resident Evil 6. I love all the references to it in this game. In fact, just being 110% transparent, which is the most transparent you can be, I absolutely adore this game. So much so that when I finish up this review, I'm going to go back to playing through it yet again. This is not only one of the absolute best Resident Evil sequels, and in fact, I would go so far to say this is definitely the best Resident Evil game since Resident Evil 6 in my mind. But it's definitely going to be one of my games of the year, if not my game of the year. So therefore, I have absolutely no hesitation in declaring that Resident Evil Requiem is bloody stupendously, magnificently splendid. So there you have it, everyone. Latest review from yours truly. If you enjoyed this little review of mine, don't forget to give me a thumbs up. If you haven't enjoyed it, well then, feel free to give me a thumbs down. But please remember the single most important thing I always tell you, dear viewer, and that is to always stay obsessed with gaming. Are you still here? Oh, you must have really enjoyed this video then. In that case, you had better subscribe to the channel and check out our other content. Otherwise, you're a booby pants, and no one wants to be a booby pants.